Video game demos may not have an awful lot of meaning to the younger generation of gamers. More often than not, they will judge a game based on face value, or simply look it up on YouTube if available to make up their minds. But to me, they are much more meaningful. They are nostalgic, along with appreciating their functionality and purpose. In fact, some of my most memorable moments as a kid with video games has been demos, where I'd play them over and over again with excitement, especially in my Amiga days. Back then, however, demos were designed very well, where they demonstrate to you the mechanics and the plot of a game with which you could decide whether or not you liked it. These days, you're lucky if you get 15 minutes of gameplay, and it doesn't really give you much to work with. But the game we're taking a look at today certainly has a demo that is done right and has left me craving for more. And that game is Evan's Remains. Evan's Remains is an upcoming mystery adventure with 2D puzzle platforming and elements of visual novel storytelling. It is being developed by Argentinian indie developer Matias Schmied and published by Whitethorn Digital. The game is set to release in late May 2020 on Xbox One, PlayStation 4, Nintendo Switch and PC via Steam. A Kickstarter campaign will be launching this week for Evan's Remains, with its purpose to cover the costs of Matias's living expenses while he finishes developing the game, with a goal of €8,904. Due to Kickstarter being unavailable in Argentina at this moment in time, Whitethorn Digital's managing director Matthew M. White is organising and running the Kickstarter campaign for Schmied, with 100% of the funding going to the developer. Evan's Remains is looking to be a very promising and interesting title with a mysterious setting, characters and plot that is full of intrigue, combined with well-designed 2D puzzle platforming, where the player manipulates the platforms to make a path as opposed to fiddling with levers and pressure pads. Before we get started, I would like to clarify that this preview and the game footage you see is based off of a very early demo of Evan's Remains and does not represent a finished or complete product. The player takes on the role of a girl by the name of Dices. Dices is sent to an uninhabited island in search of a boy genius by the name of Evan, after he disappeared years prior. With nothing but a note requesting it is hers sent to the island, Dices must attempt to find Evan and figure out why he disappeared and what the island is and what his purpose for being there is. But is everything all it appears to be? The plot to Evan's Remains is one of mystery. Everything and everyone in the game has a mystery surrounding it. From the island itself to the protagonist Dices to the boy genius that you seek to the strange Clover Amore that you meet on your travels. There are secrets and questions to discover and mysteries to solve. The characters of those I got to experience in the demo are very well designed. Dices is a somewhat shy, nervous and lacking in confidence sort of character, yet shows impatience when others are not straightforward with her, to the point of becoming angry. Clover appears as a friendly and kind character, assuming he is not interrupted from his work, which he tends to block people out when he is doing it, though his willingness to help others appears to only come when it works in his favour too. And finally is Nikola, who appears to be a scientist who keeps in communication with Dices via a transmitter, often guiding her and giving advice when needed. He comes across as a calm and intelligent character who thinks before he acts and gives advice. Each and every character in the game is unique, both in their dialogue and their personalities, which in return creates a sense of a believable and living world. And the artwork for their facial expressions during the dialogue or visual novel sections, if you will, is absolutely fantastic. The characters' facial expressions borderline between being completely expressive of the circumstance and somewhat funny. But when I say funny, I mean it in a good way, in that it reflects the character's personality. Take Clover Amore for example. While he's jotting down notes in his notebook when Dices interrupts him, his expression is one of intellect, but at the same time one of disinterest towards Dices, all in one still image. His face shows concentration and intelligence with a hint of impatience and I don't give a shit all in one. Is a testament to the fantastic character art of the game, and when mixed with dialogue, really makes the characters feel alive. There's a small detail and one that would probably go unnoticed to most, but the difference it makes is huge. To summarise the plot of Evan's Remains, it's intriguing, it's weird, it's mysterious, and so far, it's bloody brilliantly designed. It certainly shows its Japanese influence, and you can really see the Yume Nikki and even Ace Attorney inspiration. The Yume Nikki coming from the mysteriousness, and the Ace Attorney with the visual novel art style. Throughout the whole demo, I was gripped between the plot, its characters and the setting, and I didn't want it to end. And if that is the power that the plot can have in a 20-minute demo, then the future of the game's story is a bright one. The gameplay to Evan's Remains revolves around two elements: puzzle and visual novel storytelling. Based on the demo, it appears that you complete a series of puzzles before progressing in the next part of the story, which is told in the style seen in visual novel games. We've already discussed the plot and the characters, so let's get stuck into the puzzle platforming. What separates the puzzle platforming in Evans Remains from that of others like say Ghost Story is that the puzzles are entirely logic based. What this means is that the puzzles don't require precise timing or quick reflexes in order to solve. In Evans Remains, the puzzles are all about brain power, so you can take your time, sit back, relax and genuinely think about them. How the puzzles work is that the player manipulates the platforms in order to traverse them. Take the first puzzle in the demo for example. As you can see, there are 3 small platforms, one with a symbol, one that is outwards, impossible to stand on, and the third has disappeared and not possible to stand on at all. The platform with the symbol switches the other 2 platforms over, where if you stand on it, the bottom platform will disappear while the top one will appear, making it possible to stand on. When you jump or move off of a solid platform, it will then disappear. So in the circumstances of this first puzzle, you must stand on the first platform and jump off to make it disappear. This way you have both platforms now not visible. And then when you step on the symbol platform, both of the above platforms are possible to stand on, granting you access to the next area. But this is the mechanic at its most simplified state, and things do get a little bit trickier as you progress. So basically, in Evans Remains, instead of you having to figure out a way around what is presented before you, you are manipulating the platforms in order for them to grant you access to areas that were previously not accessible. It is such a clever and different approach to 2D platforming, and one that is very welcoming, as sometimes the more traditional puzzle style for these games, where levers and pressure pads are involved, can be quite obnoxious, especially when they require exact timing. But you will find none of that here, and it creates a much more relaxed puzzle solving experience, especially how the platforms don't disappear until you move off them. It gives you as much time as you need to think about your next step, while with a lot of games like this, the platform would disappear after a second or 2. And the experience is very refreshing because of it. After that, the demo hasn't presented much else in the form of puzzles. There is another type of platform that acts as a portal that transports you from one to another, but other than that, not much else right now. With that said, however, no more had to be in the demo, as it has already perfectly demonstrated the core gameplay of Evans Remains. While the gameplay of the demo may be limited, it has showcased a very interesting, relaxing and refreshing take on the 2D puzzle platforming. It is a type of puzzle platforming that pretty much anyone of any age can play without difficulty, giving amazing accessibility to the game too, thanks to its more laid back approach. And when you mix all of that with the extremely mysterious and intriguing plot and fantastic art style and character design, you get a game that is looking to becoming an incredible experience. The atmosphere to Evans Remains is one of both relaxation and mystery. Throughout the whole demo, the soundtrack and general atmosphere of the game has a somewhat peaceful and laid back nature to it, all the while keeping with that sense of mystery that comes with the plot. The whole world of Evans Remains feels completely alien, despite its appearance being so familiar to real life. You always feel like you're in this dreamlike world where everything isn't quite what it seems, but never do you feel threatened. And what you get because of this is a boost to an already mysterious and relaxed nature that the plot and gameplay already bring, and it is utterly fabulous. While the demo to Evans Remains is short, it's certainly sweet. It does what a demo is supposed to do, and that is to grab and grip the player's interest, and that is exactly what it does here. Between the mysterious plot and characters, excellent art design, the refreshing and interesting puzzle gameplay, and the fantastic, relaxing and dreamlike atmosphere, the demo of Evans Remains has completely captivated me. Do you enjoy a good plot full of mystery and detailed characters? Do you have a particular love for 2D puzzle platforming? Perhaps you're looking for a game that simply has more relaxing and laid back pacing to it. If so, Evans Remains is a game you need to keep on your radar. Its release may not be until next year, but if the game lives up to the expectations that it has shown in its demo, it will be worth every minute of the wait.